I'm Bob Nienover. This is my wife, Rhonda, and this is my miracle story. Back in 2009, I started having what, unknown to me, were seizures. I always called them a spell, where my palms would start sweating and the top of my head started sweating, and I would daze out into just a fog, and it was called an absence seizure. I had one while I was at work. I work for International Paper, and I just froze. I never freeze. And the ladies I worked with called my wife Rhonda, who was Dr. Ball's nurse at the time, and said, there's something wrong with Bob. So she called me and said, you need to come down, we need to do an exam. So I got in the car and I came down, and right when I was at the doctor's office, it's kind of like taking your car in, it never happens. But when I was there, all of a sudden I had a seizure right in front of him.
So we knew at that moment it was neurological. So Dr. Ball sent you for a CT that hour. Dr. Ball came to me when he found out the results. You were still at the CT location. I didn't want to talk to him. I could just tell by his face there was something off. He took me in a room and told me that they had found a tumor in his brain. It was pretty large. I remember Dr. Ball telling me everything about the CT, and I just remember that I kind of was freaking out. I really wasn't even listening. It was like an out-of-body experience. And Dr. Ball kind of startled me and called my name. And I looked at him and he said, right now, let's take everything we medically know about a brain tumor and let's take it out of the equation and let's bring God in, because he's the ultimate healer. He's the ultimate physician. And so he prayed for me right there. He stopped everything. We had such a peaceful time. It was like Dr. Ball was my miracle to be with me at that moment, to pray and give me such peace. And I've carried that throughout my life, our life. We'll always stop and bring God into the situation, whatever that we've had come between us. So they sent you for an MRI. The MRI radiologist told us it was cancer. We went to a neurosurgeon that day after the MRI. The neurosurgeon came in. We were crying. He said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, my husband's got cancer. And he said, "I don't think it's cancer. And you're in the best location for this surgery, because I am the teacher that teaches on the equipment that's needed for the surgery." There's only 4 in the United States of America, and Memphis was one of the locations. So that was another piece. God brought us that physician through Dr. Ball, and he didn't think it was cancer. So you had the surgery a week later.
That's right.
It took 2 weeks for the results, and the results came up benign. You did not have cancer.
And God orchestrated himself throughout this process. I mean, from the time that relocated us here from Ohio just 4 years earlier to a place where this surgery could take place, to seeing people praying for us all over the world, from Africa to Hawaii, through care bridges, because it was prior to Facebook for all you young people. But it was unbelievable just to see everybody coming to us, and people coming to me and saying, "We were looking at your faith to see how strong it was." And God showed up and he showed through and just...
He showed off.
He did. He showed off.
He did.
And to this day, I still have people come up to me and say, "It's just amazing what you went through." And I said, it's not amazing. It's all God. And that's my miracle story.